If you feel like SmartMoving has been moving pretty fast lately, you're not wrong. So we've been shipping stuff over here pretty much every week, sometimes faster. And I know for a lot of your teams, that's creating a different kind of problem. It's pretty hard to keep up. And you're busy running your business right now. So you don't have time to dig through all the release notes and figure out what's actually happening. And at the same time, smart moving isn't stopping. We're shipping and we're moving at an innovative lightning pace. And so I'm really excited. Instead of going and sitting down and talking about all the different things that we've done and a list of updates, I wanted to do something a lot more useful. So I roped Keith Bunch, our VP of product, to sit down with me today to talk about some of the bigger problems that we've been seeing across the industry and how SmartMoving's product and engineering teams are building to start chipping away at those problems. So, Keith, thanks for joining me. I want to say you're in the middle of all of this every day. I pulled you out of it to come and sit down with me. When you're looking at everything that's been put out between the team every single week, right? What is driving the pace? What's happening there behind the scenes?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Ty. We spend a lot of time with customers in the industry, whether it's through site visits, or just reading feedback, right? That our customers give us. We're moving fast because the problems that movers face are real, and there's lots of them. And part of our core values is really to try to elevate the industry and give movers the tools that they actually need to run profitable businesses. It's really hard work, and that doesn't, we don't take that for granted. So we want to work just as hard as our movers are working out in the field by, delivering more things to make them more successful. And that's why I think that we're so passionate about shipping fast and shipping more tools.
Exactly. Yeah, I think there's a lot of those friction points. And the unique thing with, Keith's team is they're out there working alongside movers to learn and see where those challenges come into play. And so when you're zooming out and you're looking at these problems, these aren't random. These are problems that we were seeing happen over and over again, right? And so a lot of those companies we're working with, they're not just sitting around waiting for leads, right? Like they're established, they're spending, leads are coming in the door, but conversion isn't always tight, right? And so, on your side, Keith, I know that you guys have really focused in on one of those big problems, right? Where movers are generating demand, but they're not converting it cleanly. Where did you guys see revenue slipping? And what did the product team do to try to solve for some of that?
We looked at a lot of things just around like speed to lead. There's some really consistent metrics that you can track, around getting back to that customer. They're likely contacting two, three different companies, right, to get a quote. And, more than likely they're going to go, over 50% chance with that first one that gets back to them. So we brought in some things like sales goals that help sales managers, set a goal out there, track speed to lead. We've brought in a lot of different things just around sales pipeline and visibility, new notifications. We've brought in a whole new workflow automation suite of tools that allows you to automate follow-ups, right? So your salespeople can stay on top of that. And one of the most requested and really kind of one of the most innovative things that we did was the launch of Smart Scout, which is our AI assisted call centers. It can actually answer your phone 24/7, right? And so you never miss one of those leads, and it directly puts that lead or creates an opportunity. If they give you enough information on that first call, you can actually go ahead and create that opportunity. And it still wants a human to just kind of review that. You don't want to send an estimate out there that you're going to lose money on. So it kind of buttons all that up for you. A lot of people don't realize too that, if you have somebody answering that phone 24/7, you can also advertise on your Google business profile. Anatime knows this really well from the marketing world, that you're open 24/7, right? So when people are looking for moving services, right, it might not be when your business is actually open. So now that you can do that with Smart Scout, hopefully you can get some more leads coming through the door too.
Yeah, it's great for SEO, your search engine optimization, and for AEO, that's your answer engine optimization, how you're ranking in, LLMs like Claude or ChatGPT. With Scout, I think that's the exciting part, and that people don't actually realize is Smart Scout is not an AI that's a bolt-on solution for us. Like that's something that's actually attached to the product that's updating your CRM while it's working with you, which I think is a very unique differentiator in that So it's speeding up that time for you. If you're not able to answer the phone, Smart Scout definitely can, and Smart Scout doesn't take a sick day. So some of the other big things that I know we've seen is like once you give volume, right? Operations can get pretty messy, and we've seen busy season when you're in the middle of it, you've got more jobs, and then it starts to get a little chaotic, and then the next thing you know, you've got a lot of strain. And so what are some of those operational pieces, getting into like, I'm thinking scheduling and dispatch or like multi-day, multi-service? Like, let's talk about some of the things that our product team has seen and what you guys have launched recently to help our operations teams get cleaner.
That's a huge challenge, right? I mean, multi-day complexity, tens, 20s of jobs a day. We go on these site visits with movers, and we'll sit down with a dispatcher or operations manager and see how they do things. And it's literally like the most advanced Excel spreadsheet, right? Or this Miro board. That's where we generally get a lot of our ideas of like, how can we make this better? Bringing in things like the weekly dispatch calendar, right? So you can see things more at a week view instead of just like a daily scheduling piece, and being able to filter your capacity. You might have a driver that can drive that's a foreman. Your foreman might not be able to drive. When you get really busy and you have multi-day jobs, looking at your capacity by the actual type of skills that you have on your crew, right? You can have a foreman and three helpers, right? But if nobody can drive that truck, right? Like you're up a creek there. One thing that we also realize too is on these larger multi-day complex jobs, right? There's so much that happens post sale, like more on the project management side. That's why I really invested in that move coordination features. Part of that workflow engine I talked about earlier is, you can automate all these tasks for your move coordinator to do. And that can be a person who's assigned to that opportunity to continue to follow up them, to make sure that they understand, that they've got all their inventory, to double check that what they're going to have included in that move. Or if it's a multi-day job, just coordinating with that person and letting them know, hey, here's when we're going to be there, setting that expectation, providing that excellent service. Because at the end of the day, right, like you want to turn these customers into repeat customers. And so the better you can provide a service to them, the more tools that we can help you do that. Those are the cheapest customers to get. So we like that.
Exactly. And when our crews are executing consistently, you're not needing to provide constant direction. And it's eliminating that strain that's on you. One thing I really like talking to Keith about that I'm going to poke him a little bit here on is let's talk about inventory and claims. I know that's a hassle for everybody. I think everybody's lost some sleep about that. So what is Smart Moving seen and done about it?
We're constantly asking ourselves, like, where do movers like have the most risk to lose money? Right? What are you going to do when something happens like a claim? You're in a really hard spot as a moving company if a claim happens. Like, you want to make that experience good because you can't have them going and leaving you 1-star reviews, right? There's some reputational damage. So we brought in a whole new claims module that really helps you track claims. It helps you track the crews that were on the claim so that you can, like, if you have the same crew that's damaging every table, you can kind of use that into your coaching, right? And so you can track it more granularly. We also recently came out with descriptive inventory, digital inventory inside of the crew app. And this allows your crew to really document everything that they're moving and the condition of it. And they can pre-mark damage and then have the customer sign off on it. You can walk with the crew app through the home before you start moving, taking photos, if walls are scratched. And there's really two things that happen with that. Number one, that's a really good service to provide for the end consumer, right? Like if you want to charge higher hourly rates and a premium, if somebody's taking care, they're photographing everything, I know that it's all going to be there. Like I'm willing to pay a premium for that. And on the back end for the mover, it really helps protect you against claims. And so all those photos, if you happen to get a claim, you can, when you open that claim in our claims management module, you can see all the conditions of everything. You can see where it was moved, when it was loaded, when it was unloaded, if it went into storage, and there's checkpoints all throughout the process. Claims are one of those areas where, you got to stay on top of it. And we're here to provide the tools to help.
Love it. It's peace of mind for them, but it's also peace of mind for you. So I love that the product team has worked on putting that out. I know they put a ton of energy into it, and we're really, really excited to see what you guys do with it. If you're using it, we'd love to hear your comments. Our product team loves to hear that feedback. Reach out to us. You can get us at hello@smartmoving.com. We talked about, crew, we talked about claims. I want to talk about margins and profits, the one that kind of stings, right? We're about to hit busy season right now. and you're going to start getting booked out, your crews are running, revenue's looking solid, right? But if your profit isn't matching the effort, we've got to break down somewhere. And that's a really scary space to be in as a mover, especially when you're moving 100 miles an hour. And our product team has definitely spent a lot of time thinking about how to give you that level of visibility and understand impact. So, Keith, what has the product team released recently that's going to help those movers as they're getting into busy season really dial down and make sure that they're taking the jobs that matter?
We have a very robust set of out of the box reports, and you can get a lot of visibility that way. But we knew we needed to take it to another level, and so we released Smart Insights, which is a basically a custom reporting feature, and we try to continually ship dashboards that come out of the box that then you can take your own data and you can tweak things, you can edit things, you can add new dashboards. What do you need to see from a visibility perspective? And one of the really cool things is you can set metrics in there around time to value. You can set capacity metrics around dispatching. And you can actually set thresholds of where you will actually get notified if something moves out of that threshold. Your time to contact a lead has gone too high, or if somebody's not completing their follow-ups in enough time. It's a more of like a proactive notification versus very reactive.
The reality of it is the business is always going to be moving faster than your decision making. This is showing up in that reporting and that dashboard for you and these alerts and in the time that you need to act on it. And I think that's the big thing. I love that the product team is doing that and they're constantly updating. I mean, there's all new dashboards all the time. And I think I'm always learning something new about insights every single time I see it used by a customer. When they come up and show me at the show, like, hey, here's my dashboard. I love seeing y'all's dashboards. Screenshot a dashboard, send it in to us. I would love to share what you guys are seeing, what you're thinking, what you're tracking, how you're acting on it. So realistically, our product team's shipping all the time and we're out there talking to our movers. But I want to be clear, right? It only matters if people are actually using it. And so if you're running a really large, moving company, you've got busy season coming up, like this can be really overwhelming. And we recognize that. But, I know at Key's team, there's some resources there that can help people get to understanding a lot of these feature releases. What is some of the advice that you would have for our movers, Keith, on how not to get overwhelmed when it comes to a lot of these new features?
We've got quite a bit of resources, and we devote a lot of time to that, right? Because it is hard. There are new features coming out every 2 weeks. Believe it or not, we're releasing new features, and we do try to bundle up the bigger ones, on the shoulder seasons, and so it's not so noisy during the busy season. But that's not going to stop us. If something needs to be done, we're going to get it out there. But some key resources, when you're inside of Smart Moving, if you go up to your avatar up on the right hand side, we have our help center there, which is full documented how to documents on almost everything. It's searchable. Then we also have our academy. We actually employ a full-time instructional designer, Michelle. Shout out Michelle. She does a really good job.
Yeah, Michelle's awesome.
And there's academy videos. So help center documentation, great if you need something quick and you have some time to read. But we also realize that learning through video content is really powerful. There's multitudes of courses in there on different modules, the basics, up leveling your team. So I'd really encourage people to get in there and check out all the different courses we have in the academy. And then last but not least, we do our release notes every 2 weeks. And so you'll get a little buzz up in the right hand corner. You can actually kind of filter those down to different areas of the product. So there's a little filtering icon you can click on. So if you're not interested in, say, maybe like the API updates, you don't have to see those. Or if you're not interested in bug updates, you don't have to see those. We also have a monthly product newsletter that goes out that's jam packed full of stuff.
Absolutely. Those are some great resources. And if you want to meet Michelle, she's going to be at our event that we have coming up in October, Summit. Going to have some of our smartest smart moving folks there on site, playing even with some of our product lab. And then we do a lot of those at events too. So always stop by the booth if you see our team. We love to get your feedback. We love to hear what you're doing with Smart Moving. We love to hear about challenges that we haven't solved yet. I also want to shout out, we've got our customer success team. That's another really great way to get engaged in your account. If you don't know who your customer success manager is, email us, hello@smartmoving.com. let's get you introduced. That's somebody that can sit down and really help you get the most out of your Smart Moving account and understand some of these features and the way that they play in your business. Let's see if we can get Keith to do this for us. What's coming up that you're excited about that you can tell us?
One thing we've really been focusing on the product side is how can we open up some additional lines of revenue for moving companies? And when we go and talk to movers, we're at the events or we're at on sites. It's just amazes me every time just how much of an entrepreneur most movers are, and they find all these little bitty, different niches to go into. I can say we're really excited to announce that we are going to expand our descriptive inventory, the barcoding, scanning stuff for digital inventory into the storage module. Think of different ways where you can open up like FF&E business. You can work with designers a little bit better. So we're really, really excited about that. And one other thing that I might get in a little bit of trouble for, my team might not like that I say this. We are very, very close to going to beta and eventually to a GA version of our commercial accounts module. And so if you do more work in business to business, office moving, more things where you're not charging based on like distance and hourly rates, right? It's a commercial agreement. We're going to have a whole suite of tools that come out to help on the commercial side.
That is such exciting news. I love hearing this. Our product team is working incredibly, incredibly hard to put these out. And we want to be there when things start to slip, where margins get lost, where your team is feeling the most pressure, where everything we're building can be aimed at solving those problems for you. It's not about creating more tools, it's about giving you better control of your business. That's really what our product team is trying to accomplish. And why our customer feedback is so important. I'm really excited, Keith, that you sat down and chatted through some of these things with us, explained how our product team functions here at Smart Moving, and then being willing to share a couple of exciting updates with everyone. So definitely appreciate you breaking it down.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you to all of our customers for giving us the opportunity to serve you. And I'm going to get back to building.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you next time.